Wow, it is an absolutely stunning, beautiful morning here in the Bahamas. This place is amazing. It is truly better in the Bahamas, as the expression goes. Today we're going to talk about diffusing toxicity. This is a critical business tool, and yet it also impacts your personal life and how you deal with people in general. Knowing how to diffuse toxicity is an important skill regardless of business, but it's really useful when you get disgruntled employees, disgruntled coworkers, whatever, people who are out to mess with you just for the point that they are unhappy. There is no reason. You didn't do nothing wrong, but they are toxic people. So we're going to talk about how to diffuse it. The most interesting, simplest way that doesn't work in a workplace, but it's a cool example. My grandmother used to be able to speak 6 languages. I say used to because she's not here no more, but she could speak 6 languages. So she knew the game. She used to tell people when they were in her face kind of thing, she used to say, "No English." She spoke English perfectly. Dude, no, not perfectly, but with an accent. But basically she would go, "No English." And the people would just leave her alone. Whatever was messing with her would leave her alone, because who wants to, battle with someone who can't understand you? So that's one very simple way to diffuse it. But more for business. Let's talk about practical in the entrepreneurship realm. Number one you want to do is stay very even-keeled, personality-wise, level tone. Do not succumb to the desire to stoop down to their level and get angry and lose your temper, because that is how you lose power. Okay, it is a power struggle when people play these toxicity games where they're intentionally toxic to you. It's typically some kind of power struggle. So one, don't raise your voice. Usually keep your volume standard, meaning don't be a wimp and whisper and talk like this, because that does not influence anybody to feel like you're a person of power. But if you can just simply speak in a commanding voice, kind of like I'm doing now, you don't really have to do very much to make your point across, and yet you're not shouting. The guy could be shouting at me and I'm simply talking back like this, and that is more powerful than if I lose control and start shouting. That is not a sign of power, that you can't control your emotional state. Now, there are times when raising your voice is strategic, and that's okay. And that is when you have witnesses and you want to draw attention to the person and the situation to those witnesses. Okay, that's the one time. And it's typically only valid or useful when you're in a public space, meaning that there is a time and place for shouting, and this is not it. That's when you raise your voice, because now you're drawing attention. So for an example, okay, in an office environment, it's pretty much never really appropriate to shout at somebody. But if someone is really doing something dangerous, toxic, illegal, whatever, and you want to draw attention to it, that's the moment to raise your voice, because everybody's gonna look. Okay, that's one way to diffuse toxicity. Okay, don't stoop to their level though and just start, fighting back. Use strategy. Another strategy that is extremely effective, it's an emotional response. That is to tell the person, "I'm disappointed in you." It's a really manipulative tactic, but believe it or not, that works incredibly well, even if they could care less about your opinion. But the truth is, if they're toxic to you, they probably want to win you over, or at least win over you, meaning be in control of you and your emotions and get your emotional feedback. That's what they're trying to do when they're toxic like that, okay? So if you tell them, "I'm disappointed in you," you may not get the response you're aiming for, but you're gonna get a response, because nobody wants to hear that. Probably in all cases, if they are in that position where they're toxic to you, something happened to them as a kid or something, some trauma, some PTSD, something going on. So when you say, "I'm disappointed in you," you're just pushing all their buttons at the same time, all right? So that's one really effective manner, but it's typically a last resort, because there's no turning back. Once you say that, they just look at you like a completely different person, So that's a different tactic. Another tactic that's great to manipulate the toxic person is to tell them, "I only want what's fair." okay, in response, in rebuttal to whatever it is they're accusing you of. I only want what's fair. Fair is an arbitrary term. That's why it's manipulative, because it implies that what they want is unfair and not ethical or not the right thing. Without even saying it, you're not confronting them. You're just saying, I only want what's fair. It's non-confrontational, but yet it's confrontational in a very manipulative, emotionally possessive way. It's a really strong, powerful tactic. Now, one other aspect, okay, about using intonation of your voice, okay? If you can keep quiet and just shut up a little bit, okay, while the toxic people are attacking you, and look like you're capable of walking away unfazed, like nothing bothers you, solid, poker face, even if inside you you're cringing and counting the moments until this tedious, torturous event is ending and this guy or girl leaves you alone. Keep a straight face, like nothing bothers you, and simply walk away without saying a word sometimes, okay? That's pretty funny. Without saying a word, and you can really leave people hanging. Literally, the person's in your face, blah, 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 and you just look at them, turn away, and walk away. As if they don't matter. Because that will eat them up the most, because they are seeking your feedback. They are seeking you to have some negative reaction. That's what toxic people do. Be prepared to get up and walk away. Now, another tactic is to keep quiet, let them talk their brains out, but when you do talk, make sure to use a commanding, strong voice, and make sure you are clear about what you want, but speak short. Because if you take a long time to talk, that doesn't work, okay? One powerful message, and then walk away. Don't wait for the response. You're not seeking their approval. You're not seeking their response. You're just stating your point and walking away. That is a very powerful way to diffuse toxicity. It doesn't work with very hard-headed people, though. But those people, you could try any of my other tactics. A key aspect to dealing with toxic people is never repeat yourself. Never say your same point twice, because that is succumbing to the pressure, the emotional pressure that the toxic person is trying to put on you. So if you told them, no, I'm not going to do this, don't say again a minute later, no, I'm not going to do this. You've already said it. You could keep silent and seriously just stare at them when they ask you to do it over and over again, or whatever they're trying to make you do. And then simply state, I've already told you, no, I'm not going to do this. And then stop. Don't make a third time. That's it. Because when you do that, it shows that you're above what you are, what you're getting spewed. Meaning, if they're spewing hatred towards you, you're above that. And it's important, okay, that you don't repeat yourself, because that means you're below that. And it actually matters what that person is spewing. Hey, come on out to Bahamas. It's gorgeous out here, man. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Check out the balloon in the air up there. That's pretty neat. All right, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Yeah!